Guys, I am angry right now. I mean, words cannot describe how pissed off I am with the media right now. I have to be very, very careful about how I talk about this because of the new YouTube policies. But I'm trying to make a point that is based off facts, okay? It's not based off something that's made up. It's based off things that have been verified from what happened with the DNC and what they did to Bernie, what they did to Andrew Yang, what they did to other candidates that they did not want to have a chance to win the primary, and they did it through the media. This is a verified fact, okay? And the whole point of me saying this is when it comes to certain aspects of fairness in elections, a lot of the dirty work is done through the media. Now, this Hunter Biden story just came out, or let me say this, it just resurfaced because it been came out. We been knew about this, but the average person wouldn't have known about it because CNN and other mainstream media outlets refused to cover it. So now Hunter Biden is under investigation for his international business dealings, mainly in China. And now all of a sudden, after the election, the media has changed their tune. And I'm going to show you guys the blatant hypocrisy from media outlets like CNN on this story. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching a Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. What I'm about to show you is just unbelievable. It is why damn near half the country right now is upset about the outcome of this election. Take a look at this video of Will Blitzer discussing the current allegations and revelations going on with Hunter Biden.
There's more breaking news we're following right now in the Situation Room. President-elect Biden's son, Hunter, announcing that he is under federal tax investigation right now. Let's go to our senior justice correspondent, Evan Perez. He's working the story for us, along with our political correspondent, Arlette Saenz. Evan, I know you're reporting extensively on what's going on. What are you learning, first of all, about this investigation?
Well, Wolf, this is an investigation that goes back to 2018, and we understand that in recent months, the investigation took a pause, in part because of the Justice Department rules governing politically sensitive investigations. There's an effort to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the election. And so with the election now over, with Biden now elected president, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware informed the agents who've been working on this case that they were free to take more active steps. And that is what has happened in the last couple of days. Hunter Biden has issued a statement that says, in part, I learned yesterday for the first time that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware advised my legal counsel also yesterday that they're investigating my tax affairs. I take this matter very seriously, but I am confident that a professional and objective review of these matters will demonstrate that I handled my affairs legally and appropriately, including with the benefit of professional tax advisors. Wolf, our understanding from doing this reporting over the last couple of weeks, myself and Pamela Brown, is that the investigators who are from the IRS Criminal Investigation Agency, as well as the FBI, and the prosecutors in Delaware have been looking at a number of things, including Hunter Biden's business activities, principally in China, and whether or not those activities violated tax and money laundering laws. And among the things they're looking at is whether or not income was reported or underreported correctly over the last over a number of years, Wolf.
Now, take a look at Will Blitzer discussing the same subject back on October 16th.
Serious questions tonight about whether the Russians are using Rudy Giuliani to interfere in the U.S. presidential election. CNN senior national security correspondent Alex Marquardt is joining us. Alex, there are fears that what Giuliani is now pushing here in the United States could actually be part of Russia's latest and very massive disinformation campaign in the U.S. presidential election.
Massive indeed, Wolf. We do know that it's a very active Russian campaign. That's according to the U.S. intelligence community, and that Rudy Giuliani already had open contact with a person that the U.S. has called an agent for the Kremlin. Now, we are being told by two people who've been briefed on what the FBI is doing, that they're looking into whether these unverified emails about Hunter Biden that were published earlier this week by the New York Post about his business dealings in Ukraine and China are part of this bigger Russian disinformation effort in the 2020 election. Now, those efforts, according to the intelligence community, are to denigrate the Biden campaign and the former vice president in favor of President Trump. The New York Post says that they got these emails from Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon. Bannon did not respond to our request for comment, but last month he told a Dutch broadcaster that people should stand by for a release of documents about Hunter Biden. Now, this is far from the first time that Giuliani has tried to dig up dirt and promote disinformation on the Bidens. He's been photographed with a Ukrainian politician whose name is Andrei Derkach. He has been named, Derkach, by the intelligence community as a Russian agent and actually been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. So you have Rudy Giuliani openly working with a known Russian agent, and the president was reportedly warned about it. The Washington Post now reporting that the intelligence community was so concerned about this that they told the White House, and then the National Security Advisor himself told the president that any information that Rudy Giuliani brought to him could be contaminated by Russia. Wolf.
That's pretty stark indeed.
Do you guys see the difference there, guys? Back on October 16th, guys, they was telling the public that the Hunter Biden story was Russian disinformation. Okay? Russian disinformation. It is a conspiracy theory. It did not exist to them. Oh, they say, well, Trump doesn't have evidence of this and that and all the other stuff. And CNN said this. They said it was Russian disinformation with zero evidence whatsoever, and they just get away with it. This is trusted news according to some people. Trusted news, CNN. If you go on CNN's website, on the front page, guys, is now the Hunter Biden story. Is that a coincidence that all of a sudden they now want to talk about this after the election? Wow. What a quinky dink from the mainstream media. Now all of a sudden, this is A-okay to talk about now that the election is over. And guys, if you, and again, more evidence. If you go and search on CNN, Hunter Biden, before today, you will be hard pressed to find any story directly related to the Hunter Biden story that came out in October. You will be hard pressed to find anything. And let's not forget, the New York Post, who broke the Hunter Biden story, was censored by Facebook and Twitter. Again, guys, think about that. There's a criminal investigation that may result in charges against Hunter Biden. Is now being investigated as a true story after spending a month telling people that it was Russian disinformation before the election. It was not true, and if you believed it, you was a conspiracy theory and putting out hit pieces against Rudy Giuliani, claiming that he's a conspiracy theorist and trying to smear this man's name for a story that the FBI is now acknowledging probably is true. We live in a banana republic. That's what we living in right now. This is how it's done, guys. And guys, remember, I gotta be careful how I phrase stuff, because I don't want to violate the new YouTube policy. You know, I'm just saying, you gotta be careful. But this is how things are done. You see it right here. I can't even spend this video talking about allegations because ultimately, what's gonna happen to him? They'll give him a slap on the wrist. He'll get some negative news coverage, and that's it. Biden is president-elect according to the media now, so it's over. Now they can freely talk about whatever they want to talk about. But, I mean, really, what's going to happen? Nothing. So there's no need to even really talk about the allegations. People want to act like they don't understand why the right is upset. The right is upset because of this. Regardless of what you feel was actually done on election day, I know for a fact this is how they really operate. This is a real operation. This is what they actually do. We've seen it. I've seen it too many times. And it's a fact. I just showed you. I just showed it to you right there. The average person did not know anything about the Hunter Biden story going into the election. They knew nothing. They knew nothing. Because the only time CNN would even talk about it is if they were talking about it in a roundabout way in which saying, oh, Rudy Giuliani spreading misinformation. They never discussed the story directly. They wouldn't even acknowledge it. It didn't exist. The only place to acknowledge it was Fox News and other right-wing outlets. I mean, the whistleblower who was in the Navy, who's a prominent businessman, who was a business partner of Hunter Biden, did an interview with Tucker Carlson, exposing the emails and the evidence and pieced everything together, and the mainstream media was quiet as a church mouse. Nothing. But after the election, this is front page news, guys. This has to be on the front of CNN's website. How can things be fair when the media is not even abiding by the basic tenets of journalism just for the sake of trying to promote one candidate over another one? How can it be fair? It can't be. So when people say, oh, it wasn't fair, oh, I don't feel like things were done right, this is part of the reason. Show them this. Show them this video. Show them this video when people say that. When people say, oh, well, I didn't know Joe's name was Hunter. I didn't know Hunter Biden was president. You think that if his son is involved in this stuff, that Joe Biden may not also be somewhat influenced? Especially considering the fact that the whistleblower came out and said that Joe was involved and pieced it together for us. You don't think that's at least worth investigating? Apparently the FBI does. Apparently the Department of Justice does. Right? If you read the article on the front page, it says, after pausing in the months before the election, federal authorities are now actively investigating business dealings of Hunter Biden. A person with knowledge of the probe said his father, President-elect Joe Biden, is not implicated. No surprises there. Now that the election is over, the investigation is entering a new phase. Like, guys, read that sentence. Now that the election is over, the investigation is entering a new phase. Federal prosecutors in Delaware, working with the IRS Criminal Investigation Agency and the FBI, are taking overt steps such as issuing subpoenas and secret interviews, the person with knowledge said. Now, they did this after the election was over. It's right here in the CNN article. If YouTube has a problem with this video, I don't know what to tell you. You need to pay attention to this article. It's from CNN. This is reliable news according to you. This is who you guys promote. Mainstream news. This is where I'm getting my information from. It's literally right here. Activity in the investigation have been largely dormant in recent months due to Justice Department guidelines prohibiting overt actions that could affect an election, the person said. You see that sentence right there, guys? Where's the DOJ been? Where's the DOJ? Why are they missing action? Guys, apparently they've been missing action long before this. According to CNN. That's not me saying it. That's CNN saying it. I don't know what to tell you, man. Reading this stuff right here, man, just makes me... Words can't even describe it. Words can't even describe it. And I'm going to say this. If the media keeps doing this, if the media continues this overt bias and this censorship and the way things are going, I got a bad feeling about what's on the horizon in this country. I really do. People are not going to continue to just take this. They're just not. You're making it too obvious. It's too obvious. You got to try harder to cover this up, to make it a little bit more covert. Because at this point now, it's too obvious. Even an idiot can see it. Even a far leftist could see it. So, this is where we're at, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.